This is Recruitment Agency Ignition with Andy Whitehead. Helping you build your recruitment employment business fast. Using digital and automation and one-to-many systems, tools, and inbound strategies.
So the principles. Number one, we're going to break your business into three core functions. Nice and simple. Number two, metrics is the magic. So Ken, in London, I made a point of referencing Ken. For those who didn't come, Ken McCarthy. So Ken joined us doing, I think, Ken, if I'm wrong, I think it is about 30K a month. It's now currently about 100K a month. And we've got a very simple plan in place to get to 250 a month by August. So next time we meet in London. So good growth, almost 10x. Metrics is the magic. Ken hasn't got some genie in his pocket. It's a grip of what we're about to go through. And the fundamentals apply, again, if you're a startup or whether you're dealing with a multi-million pound business. Metrics is the magic. There's nothing that I'm sharing with someone else. It's this, and we skip over it. Number three, master your weakness. And I'm going to be frank on this. So I am great at strategy. I'm great at starting projects. I am crap at following them through. So I need a team that supports my weaknesses. Now, what's your weaknesses? If you cannot manage a VA, how can that process be up and running? If you can't speak to clients, what's the point of getting 40 appointments with clients? What do we need to do to fix it? So you know what your weakness is, but what you cannot do is point the finger and say, this does not work, when you know deep in your gut, this is on you. And I had a couple of conversations with members in London, by the way, you know who you are, and nothing but kudos to you. Andy, do you know what? This was me. I was looking to, I didn't do this, or I had this. So whatever your weakness is, be open about it, because it's going to be there. And you might read your books on fix your weaknesses and do more of your strengths. I believe you focus on your genius, what you're good at, and then you have team to fix your weaknesses. Now, if you're a one-man business, you're going to have to get through some pain. But know what your weaknesses are and be clear with it. So if you get 15 appointments with clients and you close 2 out of 15, we've got a conversion problem, but we can fix it. If you clearly identify, I am shit at converting. Right, we've got a module for that. So understand what your weaknesses are, and be transparent about that. There's no point coming to us and saying this does not work when clearly someone else has done the exact same thing and they smashed it. What has not happened in your process? Now, again, I'm being really direct with this because this is what I want you to get and for you to implement on a daily basis. We get together every 4 months, but I want to make sure on that Thursday evening you're at home, you're still doing these things. It's what we do daily. Next, when we built Double R many years ago, it was built on completely cold data. That means they didn't even know you, never heard of you. They weren't in your database. But the reality is your client now may not be hiring now, but they will be hiring probably in the next year. Same for candidates. So it's not a case of, I've contacted them, everything's screwed. No, it's a case of you can run a campaign against your clients every month. And next week we're going to go into sharing those templates. But your client will become a buyer or a hirer in the next 12 months. It might be next 18 months. It might be next 6 months. Same for candidates. Never lose sight of that. Next, you need to manage your VA, and manage your days. Simple, huh? Manage you. Again, what's your weaknesses? Manage your VAs. The amount of times I've heard over the years, my VA's not given me the metrics. My VA's not done this. My VA's, it is your team member. Your team member. So taking extra time to have the right member on board, train them, and also, my view is your team will be with you for the next 5 years plus, and you treat them as such. They're not just an entity on the other side of the world. They are your team. And you take the view, in 5 years, I want to sell the business. In 5 years, I want to be doing X. You want the same team, trust me. As long as they're good, if they're shit, you do the right thing. Mike T, we had this conversation about transitioning from one VA company to another. But if you've got the right people, you manage them. And you manage your days. What you do daily becomes weekly. Again, not complex. But again, if I look at, we had Peter and Hazel stand up in London. earned 2.5x in the first 6 months. Great. What were they doing? It's a daily activity. So there's nothing here which is rocket science. However, what I am going to give you is the tools to control your metrics and the tools to make a decision on what do we do next.
Discover how to build your recruitment employment agency using one-to-many automation and inbound strategies before anyone else in your market specialization. Check out recruitmentmarketinginternational.com.